Tonight, we start our coverage of NFL free agency for 2023 as the first week of signings, trades are already insane. Plus, we break down the latest action in the NBA and we preview the start of the 2023 men's college basketball tournament. It's showtime.
From the gridiron to the court, talking all that is sport, breaking down the latest news, scores, and more. Welcome to our Nation Sports Show.
All right, here we go. We are live. We are ready to go. And it is a 2 for 2 today, it appears to be, because there's only two of us tonight here in this room. But we're going to have a show nonetheless. It's going to be a good show. What's going on, everybody? I'm back in the host chair this week. Welcome to our Nation Sports Show. Good to be back. We got a lot to get through and a lot to talk about, so we're going to waste no time here. Let's go ahead and first go through how we usually do our thing, which is, of course, how to follow us. You can follow us at Owen_Sports Show on Twitter, Facebook.com/Our Sports Show, Instagram.com/Our Sports Show. Don't forget also to follow, of course, the Nation's Corner at Nation's Corner on their socials. Of course, their show is Saturday, same time as ours, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Saturdays. Check out Front Row. Check out Tony Justice. By the way, happy birthday, Mr. Tony Justice. Happy birthday to you, good sir. We hope you have a great day. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. So there you go. And, of course, the lovely Deb Housen and our angry old man in our group, Mongrovian Mike, as well. Get off my lawn. They will be, of course, hosting everything that has to do with wrestling on that time, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Check them out. Also, don't forget to check out my crew with Too Sweet Cosplay across all of our socials. Of course, our next big appearance, we just announced C2E2 weekend, March 31st through April 2nd in McCormick Place in Chicago, Illinois. We will be, of course, have our booth there with our entrance set up. We'll be bringing all of our title belts for people to take pictures with and do entrances if they want. Also, we're going to have a panel on the day of night one of WrestleMania, April 1st, from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. in room S505A. There, we're going to talk about a little bit about everything that's going on during that weekend. Of course, WrestleMania being the hot button topic. And then also we're going to have the photo shoot, annual photo shoot that takes place right after the panel ends out in the hallway. So we're going to do that as well. But enough of my shtick. Let's go ahead and introduce the guy that's here. That is, of course, my heavy metal brother from North Carolina. And trust me, he's got a bone to pick with North Carolina. We're going to get to that in a little bit here. We're going to go ahead and start off with that in just a few minutes once we get an intro, and that is the one, the only, Mr. Stevie Wyatt. Sir, how are you today?
I am doing fantastic. Not only is it Tony Justice's birthday, but it's also the coolest wrestler that you'll ever meet. Lady Frost also has a birthday today. So Happy birthday to Tony Justice. Ooh, yeah. And Lady Frost. And folks, if you're a Metallica fan like me, Tony, Ezra, Elder, everybody in the Nation's Corner, Deb and everybody, we're all Metallica fans, and we are now officially 1 month away from 72 seasons dropping on April the 14th. Brand new album from Metallica, over 77 minutes of just pure heavy metal. I'm super excited. And also on the 14th, Overkill has their I think it's their 21st album coming out on that day. So yeah, it's going to be a great day of music in about 30 days, with 2 great records coming out. And again, happy birthday to Tony Justice and the Lady Frost. And yes, you did mention, Ezra, that I have a bone to pick with on North Carolina Tar Heels college basketball team.
Yes, it will. And one thing I want to say I'll say this. It is their 20th studio album, Overkill. It's
20th. Thank you.
And also they're, to me, the most underrated band in thrash metal, period. But we're going to have an old show debating about that. Well, let's get right into it. Let's talk about the NCAA tournament. The brackets were announced today, and a lot of great matchups were set up. Very high rankings to some teams, like even shocking to me, my team, the Indiana Hoosiers, ranked number 4. I was completely blown away by that, to see Indiana ranked so high, being, of course, from the state itself. And, I know Indiana's had its ups and downs over the years, but to see him ranked that high was a nice surprise for me. And there were some great matchups throughout the tournament, great matchups in the first round. It's going to be it's going to be crazy. But the biggest shock was seeing North Carolina not in the NIT, and we know the reason why, because they have elected to not be in the NIT this year. And Steven, you being from the state, you being a kind of a Tar Heels fan, I imagine, can you elaborate for us why North Carolina decided not to join the NIT this year?
So to set the record straight, as far as who I'm a fan of, yes, I live in the state of North Carolina. I am a Duke fan. However, I do respect what UNC has done in their rich history, with the championships that they have won over the years and the Final Fours they've been in and the championship games they've been in and stuff. But there was one thing that drove me nuts this week, and it's reading this, that North Carolina has elected, like you just said, to not partake in the NIT tournament happening in Vegas. And by the way, that is where it's happening this year. And next year in Indiana, that's where the NIT is going to happen in 2024. But for this year in Vegas, the NIT starts today, and North Carolina elected to not be in this tournament. And I think it's downright disrespectful to not only their fans, but it's also disrespectful to the sport of basketball, because these kids, if these kids care about the game of basketball, it doesn't matter if it's an NIT tournament game or, even better, yes, the men's college basketball tournament, which they missed. And by the way, they were ranked number 1 going into the season. And my biggest gripe with this basketball team is they're so pissed off that they missed the tournament. And my thing is, if you're so hell-bent on why the committee did not pick you to be in the tournament, and it's grinding your gears, well, maybe North Carolina, you should have won some games that mattered the most when the regular season was still at play and making the tournament. Because losing the Duke in the first game didn't help your matters. And just, it's just stupid. It's completely stupid. As Randy Orton said, stupid. I mean, just like, I feel like dropping an RKO on this organization, because this school is one of the top schools in college basketball. And you mean to tell me that your love of basketball, it's a meaningless tournament. It's still basketball. If you truly love the game of basketball, you play it no matter what. If basketball is your passion, if sports is your passion, you keep doing that passion, even though the biggest goal is to win a championship. And listen, I mean, it's hard to get back in these championship games in college and the professionals, leagues and stuff. But UNC got to the championship game last year against Kansas and blew their opportunity. And going into the season, they were ranked number 1, and they should have beat Virginia on Thursday in Greensboro if they wanted to help their chances on possibly making the tournament. And you should have beat the teams that you had in front of you early on this year. You lose to Pittsburgh. How the hell did you do that? You lose to them. You have to beat the teams that is in front of you. You can't just show up to a game and go, oh, we're just going to sleepwalk our way into a game. That's not how this works. You have to be committed to playing the game. And as Herm Edwards would say, you play to win the game. And UNC should be ashamed of themselves. I mean, I know one of my good buddies, Bo, he is a UNC fan, and he called me on Monday. He said, dude, did you read about this? I said, yes, I did. And he said, dude, as a UNC fan, I am outright disappointed that my basketball team, a team that I'm passionate about, skipped out on a chance to play the game of basketball. Because, like, Bangkok is a senior, and he just played his last basketball game on Thursday in Greensboro against Virginia, and they got their asses whooped. They got stomped out of the gym, ran out of the gym, and it is just downright ignorant. Arrogance is what I call it. This organization should be held accountable. They should be, I wouldn't say fined, but something needs to happen. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, Ezra, like if you had a team, if you had your favorite college team and they missed out on the big tournament, the big dance, and they're given a chance to be in the NIT tournament, if you were a part of that team, would you still want to play the game of basketball even though you didn't make the big tournament? I mean, it's just crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, to think.
To be honest, Steven, it's a tough question because, yes, I would be so pissed off that I would miss the tournament, but if I decline and all that. But the thing is, it's depending on, yes, it's a choice you make, but also depends on
Right.
your love of the game.
Right.
Like, if you love the game, you're still going to play no matter what the circumstances are.
Exactly.
No matter
Exactly.
what the issues are. But it's totally, like I said, this is totally their decision. I respect their decision, whether we agree on that or not. That's completely our opinion, and that's their choice. I mean, do I agree with them missing out on the tournament? No, because North Carolina has always been one of the staples of the NCAA tournament. We've never had a tournament in years without North Carolina. We never had it without freaking what's their names? Alabama. We never had it without Indiana.
And Bama was ranked one of the number ones this year.
Absolutely. And to me, you can't have, there's certain teams, Duke, for instance, Kansas Jayhawks, Kansas State. You can't have those, you really can't have a tournament without those teams. North Carolina is just deciding, hey, we're going to step aside for now. Okay, that's your choice. It sucks. Yeah, you're not in it, but what can we do? I mean,
Exactly.
the only thing we could do as fans, yes, we may be disappointed in their decision. We think it's dumb, it's stupid, but respectfully, that opens up the door to another team that may not have the chance to play it. So, I mean, as they say, when one door closes, another opens. So, while it is sad that, North Carolina decided, hey, we're not going to do this year, it opens up the door to a team that we may never see in the tournament again. Because of that reason, they're opening up that door for a newer
Right.
team to get a shot at the big dance and may shock the world. So,
Right.
but dude, I was trying to look at the bracket, and dude, it is crazy. Like, how many matches are there? 64?
Yes.
There are 64 matches in the very first round. So, I mean, you got Alabama, of course, in a good one, number one, taking on SEMO, Tamu CC SEMO. There's some good matchups on here. You got Baylor in here. You got Missouri versus Utah State. What are some of the matchups you're looking forward to on the bracket, Steven?
I mean, like, as far as like, especially,
Yeah.
Interesting. So,
Like, for me, like, Indiana versus Kent State, I think it's going to be a banger of a fight. I think it's going to be Indiana, of course, my team. Like I said, excited to see them ranked so high in their division number 4. like I said, taking on Kent State. Here's a good one: Texas A&M and Penn State.
Yes, that'll be a good one.
Oh yeah, Texas and Colgate was one that was featured on the bracket breakdown the other day on ESPN. I know they were talking about that pretty heavily. Of course, other teams like the Fighting Illini, of course, taking on Arkansas. Gonzaga is in there as well. Northwestern taking on Boise State.
Oh, yeah. West Virginia. Maryland's playing. Nice.
That's going to be a good one, man. I think. Oh, here we go. Iowa versus Auburn.
That'll be a good one.
Number 8 versus number 9 seed.
Yep, and same thing for West Virginia and Maryland, 8 and 9, respectively.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a good one. We got looking at it right now. Duke versus Oral Roberts, man. Number 8 Oral Roberts with a 30-4 record taking on Duke, who's 26-8. Tennessee and Louisiana, that'll be a good one there too. Kentucky and Providence. Michigan State versus USC.
That'll be a good one.
Marquette versus Vermont. Okay. There's a lot of good matchups here. Of course, of course, we got the brackets and they all the way lead to April 3rd, which is the finals, the national championship game. You know, Steven, the ultimate question for you. I won't be able to do this because I'm not as in tune into college basketball as you are, but I'm going to propose the ultimate question to you. Who is your Final Four?
Alabama. Let's see, Alabama. I'm going to go with Kansas. Oh man.
I know you're going to say Duke. Just go ahead and say it.
I'll put Duke in there because I am a little biased.
A little.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm more biased than when John Cena gives interviews about Vince McMahon.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Arizona.
Okay.
Oh, that is gonna be a good one. Iowa and Auburn. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah,
Or Roberts and Duke, like you said, that's a 5 out of 12.
There's a lot of big matchups to look forward.
Texas and Colgate. Boise State, Northwestern.
That's another good team there. Northwestern, man. That's
gonna be an interesting one. Number 1 seed, Houston. You know what? God, it's so hard because Houston's number 1. You know what? I'll scratch Arizona and put Houston there. And then I'll take out Kansas and put Arizona instead.
Okay.
But so Northern Kentucky takes on Houston. That's a 1 out of 16 matchup. And those are the most scariest matchups in these tournaments because even if Houston somehow was to lose,
yeah,
Virginia is still the team that can claim that we were the first ones to lose.
Yep, those are what you call, ladies and gentlemen, bracket busters.
I'm looking forward to that one on Thursday. The Penn State and Texas A&M. That's going to be good. Ooh, UNC Asheville takes on. Ooh, that'll be interesting. 2 and a 15 UCLA and UNC Asheville. Let's see, on Friday, some of the notable matchups you have. See, Iowa State is playing. That their opponent is to be determined. TCU's opponent is to be determined. Purdue plays on Friday. Their opponent is obviously to be determined. USC. And what is it? Michigan State, right?
Yeah.
Yep, Michigan State. Yep, that'll be good. Xavier's number 3.
Brackets officially lock in 1 hour, 16 minutes, or 1 day, 16 hours, 38 minutes.
Oh, Baylor's on Friday. UCSB plays Baylor.
Right now, it's right now it's Texas A&M right now. Texas A&M is leading 28-25.
Marquette, number 2, takes on number 15, Vermont on Friday. NC State takes on Creighton. Nice.
Very nice.
UConn's number 4. Take on Iona. Providence and Kentucky is a 6 and 11 matchup, respectively. I'm looking for one more notable game. Oh, Gonzaga, nice. Takes on Grand Canyon. That is a 3 and a 14 respective matchup.
Yeah, those high and low rankings are the scariest matchups because those are what called bracket busters. Because you never know what could happen in those games. That number 16 could shock that number 1 seed and knock them straight out of the tournament. So,
here's your last 2 notable matchups for Friday. Indiana takes on Kent State. That's a 4 and a 13.
Yeah.
Kansas State's ranked number 3. They take on a 14. Montana State. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. Indiana's number 4. Indiana's number 4.
Okay.
And Kent State is 13. So those are some of your notable matchups for college to start out this tournament. And shout out to our buddy who is calling the tournament again this year on the first round. Our buddy Lance Meadow. He's all over the place.
That's right. We're hoping to get him on the show again soon, but of course he's a busy man.
Very busy doing stuff on SiriusXM
and speaking of SiriusXM, real quick, I want to say, I know this has nothing to do with sports, but we gotta send our best wishes to the people at Feedback on SiriusXM because they announced that Feedback has officially come to an end as part of the new budget cuts over at SiriusXM.
Yeah, there's been a lot of budget cuts going on. It really sucks, man. When this stuff happens because there's been a lot going on.
A lot of people ending up out of jobs, including, of course, Busted Open's own Gabby Swiza, who fortunately was part of those cuts.
Yep.
I know that Roger Coletti, who is the program director over at Faction Talk, he got cut. Who helped out Eddie get Trunk Nation going. And then, of course, we had just announced Feedback was officially coming to an end today. Nick Carter, who was one of the hosts on Feedback, ended up announcing that the show was done, and those people have been cut from SiriusXM. So, but back to the sports, we got a lot. But back to the sports, man. College, man, this NCAA tournament's gonna be something, man, and it starts. Today is the first 4, as they say.
Yes, it is.
And right now we got, like I said, we got Texas A&M and SC Missouri State right now playing right now, and it's a tight game on that. Also, Pittsburgh and Mississippi State also play tonight, Tuesday. It's also play tonight at 8:10 Central Time on True TV. So check that out if you got the ability to watch. And that's pretty much it on the NCAA stuff. Let's move right in, man. We got a shit ton to talk about in the wonderful world of the NFL.
Oh, do we now?
Dude,
yes, we do.
Question: where do we begin?
Where do we begin? Because there's a lot that has went on in the world of free agency and the madness. Not just in basketball, it's getting started, but the madness in the NFL free agency for 2023 is already underway. I mean, just all of the crazy trades and signings that have happened. I mean, teams are shifting left and right, getting pieces, losing pieces, releasing players that you never thought they would release. I mean, it's been crazy.
Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, they've had their work cut out for them this past 24 or 48 hours. That's just an understatement on that.
Absolutely.
One of the big ones I want to talk about, and of course I'm going to be biased. Why not? Since you're biased about your Duke people.
Oh, this is a perfect way to start out.
Of course, the
Go ahead.
Bears picked up a huge player in linebacker Tremaine Edmonds from it was a Pro Bowl linebacker from the Buffalo Bills. We picked him up on a $72 million deal, $50 million of it guaranteed, I believe, for 3 years, was it?
Yes, I believe it was 3 years. Yes.
Yes, it was 3 years. And that is a huge pickup for Chicago to get that was one of the main goals was, I believe, that should have been for the Bears from the very beginning, is to work on that defense, because that and the offensive line were two of the biggest issues with Chicago. I mean, their defense had been okay, but ever since losing Eddie Jackson to injury, trading away Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, losing a lot of key pieces, it's been kind of a rough road, but the Bears are starting to put it together. I mean, they traded the number 1 pick for a bunch of draft picks and wide receiver DJ Moore, who's going to be a big fit for the Bears. And then you look at the money they spent. They spent $121.5 million in free agency contracts yesterday alone, getting a bunch of great picks. Tremaine Edmonds, of course, one of them. Nate Davis was signed as well. TJ Edwards. They were all signed to deals, adding some strength to the defensive end, getting another linebacker and another and I believe another defensive or offensive lineman too. So we're getting all the key pieces together, and it's coming out pretty well, to say the least. I'm excited.
It is. I mean, because if you think about it, Chicago, I think they had a game plan planned out in their head all this time. Like, they're like, okay, we have nothing to lose. We have the first overall pick. We don't need a quarterback. We still could get a defender, a top key defender in this draft, which they're already loaded now with the acquisitions they got on the defensive side of the ball as of this week so far. And they knew probably in the back of their minds that somebody was going to bite, on getting that number 1 overall pick. And the freaking Panthers are so clueless, so stupid to give up their best number 1 receiver in DJ Moore to Chicago. Because Ezra, you know this as a Chicago Bears fan. Me and Kevin and Joey, and we were all talking about this, and Randy, we were all talking about this last year, how Chicago had their quarterback with Justin Fields, but Justin Fields never had that definitive number 1 overall target guy to throw to, on key third down possessions. Well, now he does, because DJ Moore is a credible athlete at the wide receiver position. He can go up, catch deep passes. He can catch passes over the middle. He can catch quick little slants and ins and outs and get yards after the catch. And he's very lethal in the open end of the field. And I really think that Chicago, so far in this offseason, based off their draft stock and getting Moore as their number 1 receiver, honestly, they've won so far in this offseason. Because
I agree, man.
I mean, they've done everything right. They're making the right moves.
I agree. Ryan Poles and the upper management of the Bears have done a great job of really putting the key pieces together to build a successful franchise and a successful team. Getting those pieces, getting DJ Moore wide receiver, getting a guard to help out on the offensive in Nate Davis, and then getting DeMarcus Walker also, name I forgot to mention.
Absolutely.
Getting DeMarcus Walker as a defensive end from Tennessee. It's going to be Bears are putting the right pieces together, and they're not afraid to spend a little money if needed. And that's shown that, and trust me, from being a fan of the White Sox and the Bulls, our teams are not notorious for spending a shit ton of money unless it's on like Zach LaVine or something. But outside of that, man, Ryan Poles ain't pulling no punches, man. He already out there spent, like I said, almost $122 million on contracts alone within 24 hours of the new NFL season starting. And that's pretty damn good. And a lot of places are giving Bears and even the 49ers high praise too as well for some of their some of their choices, and we'll get to them in a second. Because rolling down Adam Schefter's tweet is probably going to take about 40 minutes to get through with all the shit that he's posted.
Yeah, just like Aaron Rodgers' 8-page letter. That was a bunch of crap.
Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, Pat McAfee has announced that Rodgers will be on the Pat McAfee show at 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow.
Ooh.
Yes. Yep, Pat McAfee announced that he will be on it. So let's go ahead and get through some of the kind of the bigger signings. I mean, in the reality, there's a shit ton we can go through. We can go through everybody, but why waste all this time? You know, there's a lot to get through. First of all, we got to send condolences and prayers to the family and friends of legendary Minnesota Vikings coach Bud Grant. He passed away 3 days ago at the age of 95 years old. He led the Vikings to 4 Super Bowl appearances as a head coach. So definitely one of the greats in their franchise, and condolences to the family and friends of the Grant family and all of them, and all the best to them. Buffalo Bills have agreed to Buffalo Bills have agreed to an extension with All-Pro linebacker Matt Milano, a 2-year contract extension, $6 million of cap space created for this one.
Yep.
Also, the big news: Derek Carr. This was before last week's show, right? Or was this after?
I think this was during the show, or during the week of the show. Yes.
Oh yeah. Of course, we know about Derek Carr joining the New Orleans Saints. We know about that. Oh, here we go. Jalen Ramsey. Of course,
yes.
Jalen Ramsey getting traded to the Miami Dolphins, with the Rams getting a 2023 third-round pick and Hunter Long at tight end.
I think this is a good trade for Miami. I think that even though Ramsey was not really good the last season, I think that he will flourish in the new system. I think that he's going to be able to play pretty good, with just how Miami so far has done a pretty good job with their acquisitions in the offseason.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Another big one, Washington's franchise player Darren Payne became the highest paid defensive tackle in the NFL history, not named Aaron Donald, reaching an agreement today on a 4-year, $90 million deal that includes $60 million of it guaranteed.
Interesting.
So Washington got a big piece of their franchise back, but at a big price tag.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did, for sure.
Right here, another big one is Patrick Peterson. Patrick Peterson announced that he is leaving the Minnesota Vikings, and I believe he is joining the Steelers on a 2-year contract. He said he quote unquote wants a piece of jewelry, aka our championship ring. And let's talk about this one, Steven. The backup quarterback for the Cougar Hunters, Zach Wilson himself, Mike White, is going to Miami as well.
Wow, that is honestly the smartest move the Dolphins could have made, because just knowing how Tua Tagovailoa had his fair share of concussions last year, and just not being able to stay healthy on the field, and I think that Mike White going to the Dolphins is going to be a great move for him, because if push comes to shove, if Tua goes down again, Mike White's there to step in.
Yeah, and that's a great pick for them because of the uncertainty of Tua. We don't even know if he's even going to play again, let alone even Mike White just being a backup. He may end up being a starter, depending on how Tua's recovery goes. Because you forget, at Super Bowl time, he was still in concussion protocol. He was still quote unquote. They said he was still quote unquote having issues. So
Correct.
we don't know if he's ever even going to step or going to put on a pair of cleats and a helmet again. That's going to be up to interpretation. It's going to be up to the doctors who say so, and up to Tua himself.
Right. And if I'm Tua, I'm reevaluating every situation that the doctors are saying, because you have to take this seriously. Because if you don't, this could be your career. This could be the end of his career at such a young age.
Yeah, they could be. Another big signing, Jimmy Garoppolo is no longer a 49er after all this time and is now a Las Vegas Raider. He signed a 3-year, $67.5 million deal with $34 million of it guaranteed money.
I have some thoughts on this. When it comes
yours, buddy.
When it comes to this move, I understand why Garoppolo did this. For the biggest thing is he wants to be on his own franchise now, because considering how Brock Purdy, flourished last year, and coming in when Garoppolo went down with the ankle injury. So I understand why he wanted to find a new home. And plus, there was a lot of rumors floating around that could have been his last season. And, good for him. He's going to the Raiders. But if you're the Niners, you have to have an insurance policy if Purdy, if he gets hurt again, especially if Trey Lance gets hurt again, because Trey Lance last year only played like a game or 2 games. Didn't even get to play a full season. He went down with the ankle injury as well, and just the Niners went through 3 quarterbacks last year on their 4th string with Josh Johnson, and Josh Johnson obviously isn't the answer. Well, no offense, neither is Sam Darnold. Why am I saying Sam Darnold? Because Sam Darnold is now officially the 3rd string quarterback for San Francisco. And I know that Sam's a vet, but he's not that good. He's not that good. But I'm hoping that Kyle Shanahan will kind of get his feet wet with Darnold, as far as get him comfortable within the system in the offseason, just in case if God forbid, if when Purdy comes back in the season, how's he going to be? Because that's another thing too, is Trey Lance hasn't played a full season, and Garoppolo has. And to me, Garoppolo should have stayed, because Garoppolo, he knows the playbook. He knows the players around him. He knows that system that Kyle Shanahan, runs. And I think that this is, in my opinion, I don't like this move, but I get it. I get it from the perspective that Garoppolo wanted to find his own home, but that O-line in Vegas is very, very lackluster. They only have Josh Jacobs and now Devontae Adams, to run and throw to respectively, considering they just lost their tight end today.
Yeah.
I get it, but I don't get it. I partially just don't get it, because that's what I'm in.
Well, Steven, we got to understand from not only a fan's perspective, but you also got to look at it from a business perspective.
Right.
Like, football is, as much as it is sport, it is also a business.
That's right.
Money talks.
That's right. Money talks, bullshit walks. That's right.
Absolutely. And as much as Jimmy G was faithful to San Fran, and as much as we, San Francisco fans like Kevin would love to see him stay, that he's going to go not only where he feels like he can flourish and where he can be his own man without having to be put on the sidelines because of his, because you got to think he was willing to walk this past season if it wasn't for injuries and stuff like that. He was ready.
Right.
He was ready to walk from the franchise and move on, but they were able to keep him around on a 1-year deal. They were able to get him back into the game for a little bit until he got in, until Trey Lance got hurt. Then Jimmy G came in, and then Jimmy, of course, got hurt, unfortunately, and then Brock Purdy stepped up. So I get that, but also you look at the deal that they made. That is a big deal, and that is a good chunk of money guaranteed that Brock is going to have Jimmy is going to have sitting in his bank account. So,
right.
As much as, like I always say, it's like wrestling. It's the wrestling, as Bully always says on Busted Open. It is the wrestling business. It is football, but it is a business as well.
Exactly.
And not only are you looking for where your heart is, but you're also going to be looking for where your bank account is going to be filled. And
Right.
I mean, look at Tremaine Edmonds. Tremaine Edmonds ain't coming to Chicago because he loves the damn hot dogs in the Sears Tower. No, he's coming, or he loves the city. He's coming there because A, he knows that he can help them win a championship. And B, he knows he can make a crap ton of money, which he did. 50 million of a guaranteed deal. So you got to look at it from both sides of the fence here. You look at it from the love of the game and the love of money.
Right.
And that's not being selfish either. That's
right.
not,
Right. And that's it. And that goes back to, to the college basketball NIT tournament, that I was talking about with UNC. If you're UNC, you want to make money. That is the goal in sports, whether it be college or professional, is to make money. And by UNC not participating in the NIT tournament, their school is losing out on money. And the fans are losing out on seeing the players that they want to see. So, and you gotta be in the mindset to make money, because you're not guaranteed to be in sports forever.
Absolutely. Moving on real quick, the Chiefs lost their starting right tackle. Andrew Wiley has signed a 3-year, $24 million deal with the Commanders. Realigning himself with the offensive coach, Eric Bieniemy.
I love this move for Washington because he is familiar with this offensive coordinator, especially coming off of that Super Bowl championship victory against Philadelphia a month ago. Literally, hard to believe, isn't it? A month ago already was the Super Bowl. Like, time flies by. Time flies by. So
yeah.
Good move.
Also,
I like it.
Also, the Texans have announced that Case Keenum will be signing a 2-year deal to be the backup to the number 2 pick in the NFL draft.
Oh, interesting.
The start of free agency will officially be Wednesday. So tomorrow will officially be the start of free agency. So all contracts that are signed will officially go into effect tomorrow. So I just read that on a report about Case Keenum, because it says the deal can't become official until the start of free agency on Wednesday. So tomorrow, all contracts, all agreements can officially be signed to become official tomorrow. Because most deals right now, of course, are agreed just in principle.
Yep, just in principle, and they go on official tomorrow.
Absolutely. Yesterday we found out that the 49ers, like you said, Sam Darnold, hopefully he'll be able to gain some sort of momentum. We'll see what happens there. Signed with 49ers on a 1-year deal. The Eagles lost multiple defenders, including Marcus Epps, who's now with the Raiders as well.
Wow.
$12 million over 2 years with $8 million guaranteed. So there's that. Let's see. Other big signings real quick. Here we go. Former Vikings linebacker Eric Kendricks is signed with the Chargers.
Oh, that's a pretty good move for the Chargers. I like that. And real quick to add to this, on as far as Garoppolo's contract, he is scheduled to make $111.25 million in 23 and 24.
Okay. All right. Former Cardinals defensive end Zach Allen has reached an agreement on a 3-year, $45.75 million deal that includes $32.5 million guaranteed to sign with the Broncos. Oh, by the way, here's a fact. You know how much the Broncos have? You know how much money the Broncos have spent on contracts?
How much?
$219 million.
Wow.
The Walton Penner Group is not playing around when it comes to spending money, man.
What up, Big T? What's up, bro? Randy, what's up, man?
Oh, they're in the chat.
Yes.
What's up? And also William Gyron too. How you doing, sir? Hopefully you're having a good week so far. We thank you for joining us as always. And make sure you keep your son in line. He's getting out of hand in those group chats, man. You got to slow him down. Sorry, Randy. We love you, brother. Big
Hey,
T-
Randy, real quick, how do you feel about Jimmy Garoppolo coming to your Raiders, bro?
Big T, what's up, buddy? Good to see you again, brother.
And I know Big T's got some thoughts on the Panthers getting that number 1 overall draft pick as well.
I mean, it's a good step. It's a good step forward for them, and I think that it's. I mean, yes, the franchise. We could talk about how crappy it is and all this stuff, and blah blah blah, all day. We can make fun of them, just like make fun of the Cowboys, just like we make fun of the Raiders. We can do that all day long. But in reality, if you think of I could easily say that. I could say, yeah, that they could get a number 1 draft pick, but they sure as hell could barely fill a stadium. I could make jokes like that all day, but in a reality sense, in a more serious tone, you think about it, it's a good start for Panthers to get a good quarterback, and then all they got to do is just slowly but surely, if they can keep momentum going, getting the integral pieces they need behind them.
Oh, come on, Randy. You know you love Jimmy Jesus being in Las Vegas.
Oh, I love this.
T likes this, the fact that Bell signed with Carolina as a good start. Yeah, it's a pretty good start.
Yes. The Bills have restructured the contracts of Josh Allen and Von Miller, creating $32 million in cap space. Here we go. What's up?
Unfortunately, I have to agree with William on this, that he Randy Garoppolo the Titan for always being hurt.
Ah!
Wow.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia. But I do agree with William that Jimmy G did need to move on. Even though my fan card says no, but my business hat says, knowing that football is the business, I agree with that. I know Kevin does as well, because even Kevin said on social media that, he understands, and why Jimmy G did what he did, and he thanked him for all the years that he did with the playing years that he did with San Francisco, obviously.
And the Jets, what they're doing is basically they're doing anything to get Aaron Rodgers to officially confirm that he is signing with them, because now they're looking to get Randall Cobb and Adam Lazard.
And there's also reports floating around that Alan Lazard has signed with the Jets.
Yep.
And real quick, also, Big T says he hopes that they get CJ Stroud in the chat.
Okay. That's actually a really good pick there, Big T.
And if that's the case, I think that Houston's going to go with Bryce Young.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so. That would actually be a good pick there, T. Good job, buddy.
Yes.
But yeah, that's crazy because it's crazy. You basically got the Green Bay Packers starting 3 from this past year: Al Lazard, Randall Cobb, and Aaron Rodgers. If that's all confirmed.
Yes. And also, don't forget, guys, for those that are in here, and to tell your family and friends to get in here and like and share this video, and don't forget to smash that like button on this video. And
don't break your keyboard while doing it, please.
No, God forbid.
Not unless you're watching. Not unless you're Randy watching Tom Brady destroy his favorite team every week.
Oh, Randy's still happy about that Tom Brady is officially gone.
His version of hell is Tom Brady football plays on repeat. Your version. Stevie, your version of hell is 24 hours of Wonderwall.
Oh God. Don't even get me started. Anyways, looking here in the comments, Big T also was talking about how Andy Dalton has signed with the Panthers. $10 million contract, $8 million guaranteed.
Yep, that news was broken about an hour or two ago. That's a big deal, man. Andy Dalton moving to a new team.
You go from one NFC South team to another. Hey, you're not really going far. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what Mr. Dalton can do. Also, we got to talk about real quick. Also, we got to talk about All-Pro cornerback James Bradbury is returning to the Eagles on a 3-year deal worth $38 million, including $20 million fully guaranteed, and another $6 million in incentives. Total package is $44 million.
Yep, that was reported about an hour ago. And he'll be returning to Philadelphia. So good for the Eagles, keeping one of their star defensive players.
Yeah, the Eagles unfortunately were $18 million over in cap space at the beginning or at the end of the season. So they had to make.
I'm sorry, I have to read this. Randy's dad just said that TP Trump is going to be a commentator for the Raiders, laughing my ass off. Randy's sitting there going, "Sir."
CJ Stroud is the best option. Is still the best option in my opinion. That's coming for Big T.
Yes.
Definitely, I agree.
Oh, yes. Randy, I know you would love for Tom Brady to be on Vegas Raiders radio network, being the analyst of that football team. I know you would love it, buddy. That way you can't get rid of him for the rest of your life.
He would put on the Spanish commentary then. Just so that way he didn't have to listen.
Yes. Sorry, go ahead.
And then like I said, the Eagles were $18 million over cap space this offseason, and they had over I think at least over a dozen players that were on free agency. So they're losing a bunch of key players, but they were able to keep some of the bigger ones on there, especially on the defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of defensive, another cornerback that got traded and got a nice got traded was Stephon Gilmore.
Yes, he did.
Now he's joining the Dallas Cowboys.
That's a great move for Dallas, because that'll really help out Trayvon Diggs. I mean, just he got cooked in that secondary a lot of times, and and that'll really help Michael Parsons when he gets pressure on the quarterback, because that'll allow Gilmore, who's a great cornerback, to get positioned to possibly get picks and deflect passes and stuff. So good move for Dallas. I like it.
Yep. Also, the Saints have restructured Michael Thomas's contract, reaching an agreement on a 1-year, $10 million deal that has a max value of $15 million. So Michael Thomas will be staying in New Orleans. It says right here, according to a report from Diana Rossini on ESPN, Aaron Rodgers has provided the New York Jets with the wish list of free agents he would like for them to target and acquire, per sources. This is just from sources. It includes Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard, as we mentioned, Mercedes Lewis, and Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh my God, Rodgers and his freaking demands. Randy joke just Roethlisberger is the new color commentator for the Browns. Tremendous.
You're not even on the fucking show, and you're still messing with us.
He's still our lovable asshole.
Joey in here, what are you talking about? I only call him an asshole because he's an Alabama fan. So there you go.
Big T also says he wouldn't be surprised if the Panthers signed Will Anderson as well.
William says, well, it won't happen because Roethlisberger can't read.
No. Anyways.
Oh my gosh, this is a nutcase. I'm glad we have this full chat room tonight.
Yes.
Let's see what else here real quick we can get into. Patriots wide receiver Jacoby Myers has agreed to a 3-year, $33 million deal with the Raiders that includes $21 million of it guaranteed. That is according to Rap Sheet.
And now the Raiders can probably have the reverse effect that the Patriots have, because it would be just downright hilarious if the Raiders lost a game similar to the one that the Patriots lost to the Raiders, with the pitching the ball backwards to the defender, or forward to the defender, not thinking that, there's nobody going to be there, and then picked.
If the Raiders lose that many games, they need to find a way to get Josh McDaniels the fuck out of Vegas. Fucking leave his ass in the middle of the desert.
Yes, because
at this point, they should still be playing in a football field because they're striking out, or baseball field because they're striking out on everything.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
But no, the Raiders have a big shot of actually making some. Raiders have a good shot of
They're
making.
making some good moves. But they got to execute on the field. I
And
mean,
that's where the problem. That's where Josh McDaniels and the front office comes into play. First of all, McDaniels has got to go. He's a fucking cancer.
and Mark Davis is a clueless idiot. I mean, just he is making stupid moves. I mean, all the respect to his father, the late great Al Davis, but Mark is following in his father's footsteps, just making just some stupid business moves.
He fell from the idiot tree and hit every branch on the way down.
Yeah,
Dude, he is hitting all the wrong. He is hitting those branches worse than Lars Ulrich hit those freaking toms and all that those stairs on St. Anger.
Randy says they need to fire McDaniels immediately. Yes, they do, but unfortunately, they can't because they're stuck with them.
Dude, they're more locked up than Alex Murdaugh right now.
William says Brady won't commentate for the NFL because he's too busy handling the footballs. LOL.
Well, would you expect? Well, he's handling those footballs better right now. They'll be full this time because he has nobody to deflate him, just like when Giselle left his ass. Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry.
Randy also says Mark Davis needs to sell the team.
What are they going to sell it to? What are they going to be? What are they going to be? The Las Vegas Argonauts? Are they going to sell it to the CFL?
Oh, they're going to go to Canadian, eh? Or they're going to go to Canada, eh?
Yeah, they're going to go to Canada, eh? Their logo is going to be a moose, eh?
Yeah. Better yet, they should go to the XFL so The Rock can call them a bunch of jabronis.
We don't need The Rock to do that. And that's about it on the main key free agency contracts so far. There hasn't been any update.
Another one that just popped into my head is that this is not a huge contract, but this is pretty noticeable for the Falcons because they just got Taylor Heineke.
Oh yeah, that's right.
To be their quarterback.
That's right.
Also as well.
Just about 25 minutes ago, New England is resigning safety Jabril Peppers to a 2-year deal. Caleb McGarry is going to go back to the Falcons on a 3-year, $34.5 million deal. That was reported about 35 minutes ago via Jeremy Fowler. And also this. With all the backup quarterback movement, one team checked in this week with recently retired quarterback Chad Haney and made him an offer to return. He declined the offer and remains retired for now.
Good for him. He deserves it. Being a pro for 15 plus years, he finally wins a Super Bowl as the backup with Mahomes and the Chiefs, and good for him.
Yeah. Gets a Super Bowl win. He gets to sit back now and look at all of his money.
And also in the news of as far as releases, the Minnesota Vikings have let go their longtime receiver, Adam Thielen. He is now a free agent.
Ooh, I wonder who's going to pick him up.
That's a good question because Buffalo could use him. Kansas City could just give him a pretty good, not a huge contract, but they can give him a pretty significant amount of change if they wanted to and still have room. The Chiefs have some room. The Dolphins could get him. The Bills could get him. The Chargers could possibly get him. I mean, there's a lot of teams out there that, could use that secondary weapon, to throw to. I mean, and just like in the running game, I mean, Buffalo needs, some help.
By the way, one thing we got to mention in his free agency is that it came out today that Lamar Jackson turned down a 3-year, $133 million deal with fully guaranteed money from the Baltimore Ravens.
What?
Yep.
Wow. Interesting. He says he's worth all that money, huh? And yet he turns down fully guaranteed money. He wants more money? Oh, dear God.
Oh, yes, I do agree, William. Adam Thielen is a stud. I do agree with that. But he put out because a page put out a report saying Baltimore Beatdown put out a story stating that he had turned down a $200 million guarantee deal back in September. But then he replied, 133 over 3 years, fully guaranteed, but I need a free agent with a laughing emoji.
Yes.
I can't believe that. That's insane.
Ridiculous.
I'd be like, sign me up. I'll gladly take that money. One and out in Indy. The Colts have released Matt Ryan.
Oh, that's just too bad.
I guess 31-3 was a bad number, just like 28-3 was. Oh my god. Yep, the Jets have signed, or the Jets are signing Adam Lazard. It's official now. Okay.
Interesting.
Yep. Thielen will visit the Panthers. It says. Yeah, Thielen will officially, will be visiting the Carolina Panthers. And the Commanders have released J.D. McKissick, the running back, because of a failed physical. So the Commanders are also moving away from offensive line coach John Matsko, and so they're going to be looking for a new offensive line coach as well.
Interesting. Back to Thielen real quick. If you're him, where would you go?
Well, Thielen, of course, is going to be looking for, of course, the elusive Super Bowl ring, like every other, like other players. Right. But it's going to be dependent on where you feel the most success is going to come from, as far as the team itself, the best environment, and of course, how much money are you going to make? So it depends on cap space. It depends on the options that are left. It depends on of course, also what the teams have already picked up as far as any wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, and whatever they need. Adam Thielen's a wide receiver, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Well, you're going to have to look at teams that are going to need a wide receiver and are willing to pay Adam Thielen, because Adam Thielen's not going to come cheap.
No.
I mean, I'm not saying he's going to ask for $100 million over 3 years like fucking Lamar Jackson. Fucking
correct. Oh, and also as well, San Francisco has signed former Eagles defensive tackle Javon Hargrave to a 4-year deal.
Yes, I forgot about that one. Yes.
That is a excellent pickup for San Francisco.
Absolutely. Dude.
And it's worth $84 million.
And I think he's worth that.
Absolutely he's worth that money.
And San Fran making some good choices. Good job, guys. Of course, great franchise over there. But yeah, Thielen is going to be interesting to see where he ends up, because Carolina would be a good choice for him, but I just don't know what the track record of Carolina over the past few years. I understand it's a rebuilding process for them, and a guy like Thielen would be perfect for that rebuild because you need veteran players like him to help lead the offensive side of the ball. But the issue I have with this, Thielen's been around for a good long while.
Real quick, sorry. Randy said Lamar Jackson needs to be checked for CTE.
No, he needs to have a full psychological exam. Fuck the CTE test. Not even CTE. He's just fucking nuts. He's more fruity than a box of Fruit Loops. What the fuck you talking about?
That is a good point, William. That San Francisco.
Dude. He makes Dexter Loomis look like a freaking normal person. Are you out of your mind?
Right. And William does make a good point that San Francisco just needs to get a new quarterbacks coach because offensive coach, excuse me, because 4 quarterbacks, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, that is. And but yeah,
because that offensive line coach could seriously help them.
Yeah, definitely. But that's pretty much all I have on the free agency market. As far as that goes for right now, anyways. Of course, stuff will probably break as the show goes on. So we'll as soon as we get any big news, we'll break it to you guys, of course, on the show as we always do.
Absolutely. I mean, there's just a lot going on, and Aaron Rodgers is the biggest, the biggest elephant in the room, so to speak, when it comes to is he going to go? Is he going to go to the Jets? Is he going to go there? Well, partially if his wishes came true, because as we just reported that Lazard is going to the Jets. And I mean, my biggest problem with this whole Aaron Rodgers situation is the constant circus that he has put everybody through. All of us here on this sports show, everybody in the reporting world, this whole theatrical, I'm going into my darkness period and talking, and just figuring out what am I going to do, with the rest of my professional, football life, and if he goes to the Jets, I mean, the Jets are going to the Jets cannot afford all four of those players. I'm sorry. You could afford a couple of them, but especially with the asking price that Rodgers has at his age, he's in his 40s. He's not no young buck anymore. He's getting old too. And I don't like the way Rodgers has handled this situation. It's just, I think it's stupid. I think it's ridiculous. I think he just wants attention. He like Joey and I and you, Ezra and Kevin, we've all talked about this on the show. And, Rodgers, as you know, he's a diva. He is a complete diva.
Yeah. But and understandably so, yes, he's put the world through a lot of drama. And that is, of course, expected. Of course, because it's Aaron Rodgers after all. But what I'm gonna go with on this Aaron Rodgers, I'm sure there's been reports saying that it's done, it's verified, all this other shit. Of course, the man himself's not said anything, and that leads to tomorrow's episode of the Pat McAfee show.
Yep,
and that's gonna be interesting because we know that I know for a fact that that Aaron has been a frequent guest on Pat's show numerous times.
Mm-hmm.
He's on there at least twice a week. Except for when he went to his fucking stupid darkness retreat where he became a fucking bear in hibernation for however long.
Ridiculous.
But whatever trips his trigger, whatever it is, man. So, but yeah, so, I mean, hopefully we'll know something tomorrow. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. We'll see. Maybe he'll reveal it on Pat's.
But we'll know. We will. If we know anything, next week we will be reporting on this. Like it is.
Oh, yeah. Next week on the sports show, we're gonna have it as soon as we can. We're gonna dissect it. Of course, hopefully next week we'll have Kevin Rory back next week, and we'll be able to dissect it all the way through on that front. So I think that's it on the football talk for now. Do you have anything else before we move on?
Yes. Yeah. Moving on to the NBA.
Yep.
Last night the Warriors beat the Suns 123-112. Klay Thompson had 38 points in that game. He was on fire in that game against Phoenix. And Stephen Curry had 23 points. Jordan Poole added 20 points. I mean, just Golden State is at home. They are a scary, scary, scary team. But where Golden State is a concern for me is their road record. Their road record is not good. And if they're gonna make it into the playoffs, they're gonna have to start winning some road games on the road. And they start a road trip this week.
Yep.
So if I'm Golden State, you have to start winning these playoff games or start winning these road games. Because it better chances your record and stuff as far as making it and not having to do the whole play-in tournament stuff. Let's see, Golden State. Their next game is tomorrow, and they play the Clippers. Then they go to Atlanta and take on the Hawks. That's a very interesting trip there, huh? You're going all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast. Let's see. Oh, looking at the schedule here. Yep, Atlanta. Then their next game is against the Grit. Oh, that's going to be a good one. A very high-profile game against the Grizzlies because of all the bad blood that Draymond Green and Brooks and the whole John Morant situation. That'll be rather fascinating to see how that game goes down there in Memphis. Those are some of the noticeable games for Golden State on the road this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we shall see what happens.
Definitely, I agree. Couple quick notes here. John Moran has entered a counseling program for after the whole situation with him with the gun and
Yes,
and the stuff and all that. He's entered a counseling program. There's still no timetable for his return to the Grizz, so we'll see what happens there.
Yep, we shall see, and I hope that this is the starting process to him, getting his life back under control and just on track. I mean, just
hey Steven, go ahead and take over real quick. I will be back in 5 minutes. I'm gonna still be on. I just got to take care of something real quick, and I will be right back. Everybody, listen to Steven ramble about nonsensical things for 5 minutes. Enjoy.
yeah. So I mean, looking at from a just how Golden State is playing so far. I mean, when Curry's been in the lineup and he's been healthy, Golden State is a good basketball team, and they have the championship pedigree, to go far in the playoffs. Because once they get in, they can definitely make some noise. I really like Golden State's chances getting far into the playoffs, because if they can get into the big dance, they can make some serious noise against Denver, against the Clippers, against any of the top teams in the West. Hell, even against the Phoenix Suns, because they beat them last night pretty handily. I mean, Devin Booker last night did have 32. Chris Paul did have 11. KD did not play, and that's the key to me in the NBA when it comes to Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant might be the piece to this team that can get Phoenix over the hump, but they got to go up against the Clippers. They got to go up against Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets, the top seed in the Western Conference. And I really think that they had the pieces to do it. It's just that Phoenix they're missing that defensive presence when they got rid of Mikal Bridges. He was their anchor on the defensive side of the ball, as far as defending the guards and stuff and the big guys down low. And getting rid of Cam Johnson was not a good move, in my opinion. I mean, just losing a lot of key pieces for Phoenix, and Phoenix still has some good players. I don't think they're going to go as far compared to possibly Golden State, because Golden State, once they get in, they're dangerous. At that point, they're just they can really cause a lot of ruckus in the top seeds in the West. But again, folks, don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms on twitter.com/Owen_sports show, facebook.com/Nation Sports Show. And also don't forget, we are live right now on youtube.com/Our Nation Sports Show. And also don't forget to follow the Nation's Corner on Twitter @Nation's Corner. Everywhere else on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, it is @The Nation's Corner. And join Front Row, Tony Justice, Steph Housen, Mongrovian Mike this week as they recap the week in professional wrestling.
Absolutely.
And we are now 18 days to WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles.
Absolutely, man. It's going to be a hell of a ride, man. And I
was just saying, that, Phoenix they have some good pieces, but
yes,
they don't have the depth that they had, the last couple of years, especially when they went to the finals. I mean, how healthy is Chris Paul going to be down the stretch? How healthy can Devin Booker stay healthy? Can KD stay healthy? I mean, because the media was like, oh, KD to the Suns. That's the championship piece that they're missing. And yeah, he might be the piece that they're missing, but he has to fit. He has to fit with the team. and he has to stay healthy. And Golden State, unlike Phoenix, Golden State with Curry and Clay and Green and Kevon Looney, and they had the pieces. They have the pedigree. They got Wiggins still. They got Jordan Poole. They have all of these players still on this team from last year, and they can go far.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely, man. Also, that's pretty much it on news stories. There hasn't been any updates on any injuries, really, or anything right now. I do know there is some games going on right now. We got.
Yeah? Why don't you give us a rundown there, pal?
All right, let's do it. Cleveland right now is at the halftime with Charlotte leading 63-48. Detroit is in the third quarter right now, losing to the Wizards 62-45. Toronto Raptors are beating the Nuggets 59-38. Lakers are up on the Pelicans 14-0 in the first. And Brooklyn and them just started 7-5. OKC over Brooklyn. San Antonio Spurs are leading the Magic 11-8, and then tonight.
All right.
Phoenix will face Milwaukee tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. And also, Portland Trailblazers will take on the New York Knicks as well, 10 p.m. Eastern tonight. So we got two great games tonight. One on NBA TV and more than likely one on ESPN. ESPN TNT. So check your local listings wherever you're at to watch those games.
Interesting.
So, do we have anything else in the NBA you want to talk about real quick? Let's just go through the standings, actually. Let's take a look at the standings at this time. Right now, we got, of course, in the Eastern Conference, we got the Bucks still up top.
Oh, they're killing it.
2.5 game lead over Boston right now. With the 76ers only a game behind them. You got the Cavs, Nets, and Knicks to round out the top 6. And then the 7 through 10 slots are the Heat, Hawks, Raptors, and Bulls.
Anybody can get in that 7 or 8 play-in spots. It's crazy.
9 and 10. Right now, 9, 10, and 11 are each a half game apiece from changing positions. So
interesting.
Of course, the Pistons are still in last place with a 16-53 record.
Oof. Pitiful. Absolutely pitiful.
Yeah.
You were talking about the Bucks the Bucks and the Celtics. The Bucks last night, they beat the Kings in a close game. And let me get that score pulled up real quick. Also last night, the Rockets beat the Celtics shockingly 111-109. I mean, Boston's had their struggles the last several weeks. They're still a top contending team, but man, you gotta beat these teams ahead that are not in your league. And to add to that score, the Bucks did beat the Kings last night at a good game, 133-124. And how about the Sacramento Kings? The Sacramento Kings in the West, this is not the same old Kings basketball team for the past, 17, 18 plus years. This is a far different basketball team.
Yeah, this is definitely a more put together team here. Right now the Kings are, of course, in third place right now, only a game behind the Grizz for the second place spot. Suns are 3.5 games behind them. So we got a lot.
Interesting.
There's a lot going on there. Right now the Warriors and the Clippers are tied, with Warriors having a tiebreaker in 5th. And then you've got this is a crazy one. Listen to this, from 7 through 10. Timberwolves in 7. 1 game behind them, the Mavericks. Half game behind them is the Lakers, and a half game behind them is the Pelicans. But the Lakers have the tiebreaker over the Pelicans right now in the number 9 spot. And then, of course, Thunder, Jazz, Trailblazers, Spurs, and Rockets. So
interesting. That's a very, 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 very close. And also, here in the chat, Randy says that Aaron Rodgers needs to figure it out and quit being in Brett Favre's shadow. I agree.
Well, no, he's not being in Brett Favre's shadow. He's being Brett Favre. He's going to the Jets. What the fuck? This is Brett Favre syndrome in its purest form.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Oh.
And also Williams says that, and yet Kyrie Irving cannot blend in. I agree.
Yeah. He can't round out because he thinks the earth is flat.
A young kid with too much money. I agree, William.
Yep, I do agree. All right. I believe
Elder. Answer got to drop a deuce. Wow. Randy also says that Miranda's a good kid, but he needs to slow down. I agree.
Ezra, when did you get here? I know it took you long enough to use the computer, you old fuck. What happened? You actually had to use a computer. What happened? Your typewriter broke? Don't worry, I'll get your ass in a few minutes. I got you. Don't
William
worry.
says, Ezra, did you wash your hands, LMAO?
Of course I did. I'm no animal. I'm not an animal.
Oh, good. Good for you. Mike, I don't know when he got here. He got here definitely before you did.
Yeah, I know Michael. I know Mike had to take. I know it took him 3 centuries just to get to this world. Old asshole. Do you have anything else, Stevie, you want to roll out before we call it a day here?
I think, you know what? I think I'm good. Although I do want to roll through the schedule for the NIT tournament for the first couple of days.
Sure, go ahead, man. Floor's yours.
So pulling that up. So we have we have the schedule as follows. You got number 1, Oklahoma State taking on Youngstown State. Yeah, Youngstown State. You have Sam Houston versus Santa Clara. You have North Texas versus Alcorn State. Washington State versus Eastern Washington. That'll be interesting. Also, you have Oregon versus UC Irvine. Liberty. Liberty versus Villanova. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, they missed out. Wisconsin versus Bradley. Florida versus UCF. Rutgers. Rutgers. I'm not even going to attempt to say that last one. Colorado versus Seton Hall. New Mexico versus Utah Valley. Cincinnati versus Virginia Tech. And then the last part, Clemson versus Morehead State. Vanderbilt versus Yale. Nice. Michigan versus Toledo. Let's see. This one is UAB versus Southern Mississippi. And that is the schedule so far for the next couple of days for the NIT tournament.
Nice. All right.
Other than that, I think I'm good.
I'm good too, man. As usual, Steven, you kind of already threw the plugs out there for our group and of course the Nation's Corner. So
and again, folks, happy birthday to our buddy Tony Justice and to Lady Frost. Tony is a huge Metallica fan. I know him. I know he, along with the rest of us and our crew, we are super excited for the brand new Metallica record dropping in a month from now. It's exciting to be a fan. And plus, on the day before on the day the album drops, Metallica will be having the album be a listening live party for Metallica family all around the world in theaters across North America, and for everybody to experience the songs on a surround sound listening, and also all 12 songs will have music videos and also some surprises along the way. What is that? We will have to find out.
Yep, absolutely. Definitely want to thank everybody who came on the chat tonight. William,
Thank you to the guys that were in the chat tonight.
yeah, William, Randy Gyron, of course, Big T, Mogrovian Mike, who we'll be talking to in a few minutes, and then also everybody else who joined in as well. Definitely thank you guys for coming in.
Yes,
Watches this video.
absolutely.
Please like, share, like, subscribe, share all the good stuff. You guys are awesome. And of course, don't forget to follow, of course, our socials and everything else. From follow Too Sweet Cosplay, follow whatever else I can plug in the next 30 seconds.
Yup.
Yeah, follow Under Armour, follow my sponsor. No, I'm kidding. I have no fucking sponsors. What the hell are you thinking? So with that being said, for Steve Wyatt, for myself, and for the rest of the Sports Show crew, I'm Ezra Vickery. We will see you right here next week for another great edition of our Nation Sports Show. Take care, everybody, and have a great weekend. Peace.